Welcome to Check Your Day, the daily podcast with Renča, aka your guide through the jungle called Czech. We spend 5 minutes from Monday to Friday to get better at one topic in Czech. Ahoj, welcome! We have a new episode here and today we will continue in the series because last week we started part 1 of the 90-day challenge series and today we will continue. I would like to share with you how to start planning your 90-day challenge, and we will answer 3 really important questions together. So take a piece of paper, take a pen, and if necessary, re-listen this episode to help you guide you through the planning process. If necessary, if not, then you can go with the flow, okay? No pressure. I forgot to mention one really important thing last week about the advantage of 90-day challenges, and it is 90 days is a long enough period for the thing to become your habit, and that's what we want. So after the first 90-day challenge that I started in September 2024, it became totally natural for me to really work on my Spanish every day. So I didn't think about it anymore. It was just part of my daily routine. I took advantage of that. I definitely continued. Spanish just was not in my 90-day challenge anymore because it had already become part of my daily routine and I was able to focus on other areas of my life that needed to get better or in which I really wanted to progress, to improve. But I really continue with my Spanish on daily basis ever since. It's engraved in my daily routine every day, every single day. And that's how I reap the benefits. This is how I progress so much. And this is also what polyglots do and how it's possible for them to learn so many languages because they do it at least 15 minutes, usually longer, but that's another story. For the start, it's amazing, at least 15 minutes, 7 times a week, like every single day, because this is how your brain is able to create the neural paths and to remember. So, enough about that. Let's focus on the 3 questions. The first one is your goal. What do you want to achieve within the 90-day period? What's your goal? Do you want to understand people when they speak Czech in everyday conversations? Do you want to understand more when reading books in Czech, or do you want to be able to write a letter in Czech? I wanted to understand Spanish more, for example, when listening to different recordings and also reading texts. I wanted to improve this. I increased my vocabulary so much, like a lot, within the 90-day period. So it's up to you. Think about your goal, what you want to achieve. It's important. Think about what your goal is. Okay, done. Write it down. My goal is da-da-da. How you can do it? Start at least 15 minutes of studying every day. Every day. That's important. Every day. That's why it's called 90-day challenge, because you do the activity for 90 days No exceptions. No negotiable. Okay? So decide whether you want to do it for 15 minutes. If you are used to studying regularly, then you can study longer. So you can do it for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Nowadays, I usually study like 45 minutes every day, but I started with 15 minutes. And it worked amazing for me because my brain was not used to studying regularly. So I needed to start with 15 minutes. 20 minutes would be too much at that time for me. So you have picked how long you will study. So write it down. You have your goal. You have how long you will study. And then there is the third question, when to do it. And it's extremely important. I can tell you from my own experience. I have already mentioned that in the previous episodes. I didn't set up a time slot, specific time slot for my Spanish at first. And I really struggled because, as you know, life happens. And I usually ended up studying my Spanish later in the evening, and I was really exhausted by that time. So it was not really efficient. So I highly recommend you to set up a time slot. Okay, so when do you want to study? When do you want to create this 15-minute window? Check your schedule and really think about it. Think also about your weekends, because I study my Spanish at the same time during the week as well as during the weekend. This is how it's possible that I haven't missed any day for such a long time, because I know there is the time for my Spanish. No brainer, no negotiable. It's for me because I'm worth it. I want to achieve my goal, and I definitely will. I know I will, because I'm dedicated and I do it every day. I am getting one step closer. I do every single day. And so will you. And that's fantastic, to know that you can do it and you will do it. So we have the 3 questions answered. Now you know your goal. Now you know how to do it. That means create the time slot, and you also know the specific time period when you will study during the week, during the weekend. Okay? Awesome. So now it's time to get your brain ready, because next week there will be probably the last part. I will share with you how to really get started the 90-day challenge to be successful. So see you next week in this series, and definitely see you tomorrow for the normal episode of Czech. Ahoj!